everyone, how's it going? CJ here, and if you watch my iPad Pro impressions video, you know that I went to the Apple Store and checked out the iPad Pro, but I also got to check out the 4th generation Apple TV, and these are my impressions of it. On the outside, almost nothing has changed about the new Apple TV. When compared to the last generation, the new Apple TV is about twice as tall, but otherwise they're pretty much identical. They both have the same black matte plastic finish on the top and the Apple TV logo, and on the sides they have the clear shiny plastic. The back of the new Apple TV has a few changes though. It's got a power port, an Ethernet in, an HDMI out, and a USB Type-C. I'm really glad Apple kept the Ethernet port, so if people don't want to have to rely on Wi-Fi, they don't have to. And I'm also really glad Apple included a USB Type-C. This leads me to wonder, though, why Apple hasn't included USB Type-C on their MacBooks and their iMacs and computers. And what doesn't make a lot of sense is that the cable that's included to charge the remote is normal USB to Lightning. So you can't charge the remote through the Apple TV, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Speaking of the new Apple TV remote, it's way better than the last one. It has a built-in battery now that can be recharged via a Lightning cable, so you don't have to mess with batteries anymore, which is good. The new remote is also still really thin and light, so if you had trouble with losing the last one because it was so thin and light, you're still going to have that problem. The new Apple TV remote also includes a touchpad at the top for navigation. You can swipe through the software now, and it's nice, and it feels more modern. I do think it's a little awkward for the touchpad to be at the top of the remote, though, and I wish the touchpad was in the middle of the remote where my thumb normally rests. The buttons below the touchpad are way more helpful than the previous remote. You've got Menu, Home, Volume, Play and Pause, and the new Siri button, which leads me to the software experience. Apple finally added Siri integration to the new Apple TV, and this is one of the most needed features that the last Apple TV didn't have. Other TV boxes have had voice integration for a while now, so it's really nice to finally see Apple adding it to theirs. The whole software interface on the new Apple TV is familiar, but Apple updated it to look like iOS 8 with transparency and brighter colors, and I really like it. It looks way more modern and way more user-friendly than the last Apple TV. Another main new feature of the 4th generation Apple TV is the App Store. You still have the normal apps like movies and TV shows and music and photos, but now there's an App Store so you can buy and download the apps that you want to have installed, and you can just leave out the ones you don't, which is really nice. You can also move the apps around and customize the home screen layout, which is a really nice addition. The addition of the App Store to the 4th generation Apple TV allows it to run games, and from what I've played, they're actually pretty good. The App Store gives you a really wide selection to choose from, and some of them you play by pressing the buttons on the remote, and others require you to move the remote around and let the sensors detect your movement. It's a lot like playing a Wii with a Wii remote. Overall, tvOS is really good, and it's a much improved update from the last Apple TV. The new Apple TV supports full 1080p HD, but it doesn't support 4K, which is a bummer, especially since 4K TVs are getting cheaper and they're pretty easy for everyone to buy nowadays. Anyways, you can get a 32 gig Apple TV for $149, and you can get a 64 gig for $199. And so far, it seems like a pretty solid option. Anyways, I thank you very much for watching my video, and since this is my last video of 2015, I'll see you guys in 2016. Peace.